So there is a feature that we've been including in one of our tools, which is intent recognition.
Right.
How would you define intent recognition? I mean, the name is quite clear. You recognize intent, but is there something to say about?
So there is much more depth to it that we can think about. So basically, intent recognition is basically the fact that when the machine hears you say something, it is usually different from what you actually mean. So that that reveals actually some aspects of human nature. At human, not only the language is complex and vast, but humans have a hard time to express themselves clearly, like totally clearly. And if you have noticed, for example, I give you an example. If I'm telling you I'm freezing, I mean to turn up the heat, not that I'm becoming an ice cube.
Okay, yeah.
And so
Language is not always literal.
right. So this is the first degree of you can detect the intent based on my wording, but sometimes the wording has absolutely no connection with my intent, right? So intent recognition is very valuable in business setting and enterprise setting because it helps you improve customer service, improve your productization, improve your sales. If you have a better intent recognition, you're able to go much further and beyond in order to satisfy the customers and get in the psyche of the customer.
Yeah, it's kind of the capacity of having some sort of empathy, right? Because oftentimes people don't actually know what they want.
Exactly.
They know how they feel, or they just show how they feel, and it's quite common in the customer service context or in the sales context that the representative has to deduce what the customer is feeling and what the customer actually wants, and be able to give that response, even though they might not have literally said what they want or what they need or how they feel.
Exactly. So to illustrate what you say, for example, there are human concepts like sarcasm, for example, that can express this very well. So, for example, if I'm telling you that's ridiculous or that's sick, for example,
Yeah.
that express some positive actually feeling.
Yeah, or that's crazy, that's wild.
Right, that's wild, and then that's illustrate one of the depths, like ironies and sarcasm. They are often used, especially in enterprise context, in customer service, for example, when the customer is complaining. I want to keep my cool, so that's really interesting, and so when in Britain, for example, when you say that's interesting, that means they hate it.
Yeah.
So these are subtleties, that are part of the linguistics, and the AI needs to make the distinction. So that's why we have intent recognition, but that's only the first degree of intent recognition, and that's what researchers have been working on, and enterprise have been using in the last let's say 10-15 years. But now there's a second degree of intent recognition. Is not necessarily only what is your first intention, but discovering what actually the hidden desire that you have behind, and so sometimes that you don't even know about. So the way we at Ultra Deep Tech, we have developed this technology where we discovered the second order intent of customers by analyzing conversations on the full breadth of the conversation. So, and then deducing with machine learning and pattern recognition what ends up, and how it started. So it's kind of a predictive engine that lets enterprises predict what is the intention of the user with a high degree of accuracy, because it's based on millions of users. Each company has their own product, their own pipeline, and when you are able to take advantage of all this data in a conversational context, you're able to increase a lot of metrics, including revenue.
What are the challenges in order to make this work? What makes it difficult?
There are many multiple challenges. So in the first degree, that's all this distinction in the language, sarcasm, irony, and then double intent. You can say one thing and it can have multiple possible intent, right? If I tell you I can't log in, that might mean that you forgot your password. That might also mean that the website is in maintenance mode. That might mean that your internet connection is broken. And so there are many different interpretations behind that.
My mind always tells me it doesn't work, and my question is always, what do you mean? I mean, do you have an error that arises? The page is blank, nothing happens. What do you mean by it doesn't work?
Right. So if you are able to, first of all, the first degree intent, you want to understand the customer wants to some kind of reparation. He wants a solution, right? He wants to log in. But if you understand that actually behind that there is even deeper, there is deeper desire, deeper intent is to having a proper full solution, like to be satisfied as a customer, right? Then that becomes a second degree intent. Then if you understand that every customers that couldn't log in, and that's because they are not good at passwords, they don't remember their password, for example, and then you have invented a new solution of face login or like fingerprint, you can sell them this new solution. So it's third degree intent. Like you can detect, like you can deduct what the customer, and then it can correlate to increase in revenue for your company.
What you're saying brings me back to what's called interest-based negotiation, right? In the schools of negotiation, they say that there are various types of negotiating. The most known one, when we first think about negotiation, is position-based. I want to pay up to this much. You want to charge from this much, and we kind of pull to our own side in this zero-sum game, and we end up somewhere in between, or not negotiating at all. And what they say is that you should always try to go one level further and see what you actually really need out of that negotiation, and in that way getting out of the zero-sum game, right? And what you're explaining is like building into the AI the capacity of understanding the hidden agenda that everyone has, and being able to satisfy that in a way that serves both parties.
Yeah, so it's like
the applications are huge,
right, and in the same time you have to to confront that to reality and the reality of the enterprise. So I would say that the huge potential of this technology is developed by the use of AI. So AI, by definition, fundamentally, doesn't define what exactly, in human terms, what makes people tick. It creates its own features. What we do is we correlate what the AI has discovered to the KPIs of the company and the funnel and the pipeline of the company, and we exploit that and we correlate the two, and that's what's make our solution valuable, because you have these two words. Because what we think as important is not necessarily always the determining factor into how things happen. The AI is able to discern better than us, because sometimes the features are not humanly identifiable. What we do is we connect that to humanly identifiable and to criteria and metrics and goals in the company, and that's where the value is added.
It remembers me of the meme, which says something like there's a swing, right? And it says what someone described, what someone built, what someone maintained within the company, and in the end, what the customer wanted. And it was very simple. And it's the sort of thing that you're describing.